My name is Peter Bance. I'm a historian. My specialist subject is Maharajah Randhir Singh. I research on his life and that of his children, and also of the Punjab princely states as well. A fascination with Kapurthala as a royal family anyway, because they were a well-travelled family who went all over Europe. But with Helen, it was a bit of hidden history which eluded me. I knew about the Randhir Singh princesses, but Helen had never been mentioned until a chance meeting with an old photograph I found on eBay. The Kapurthala was a very prominent family coming from the Missals, from the Ahluwalia Missal. One of the great leaders of the Sikhs was Jassa Singh Ahluwalia, and the Kapurthala family are descendants of Jassa Singh Ahluwalia. So they have a great legacy, a great history, and much of Jassa Singh's history is preserved within the Kapurthala Royal Archives. Helen's mother was Lady Henrietta. She was a daughter of an English missionary, and she fell in love with Maharajah Randhir Singh of Kapurthala in 1859. They had 3 children, Helen being one of the three daughters. The marriage wasn't a happy one. Within 10 years, they left. The children with Henrietta left Kapurthala and came to England. And in a short life, because Helen died at the age of 23, but within a very short life, she made quite a name for herself, not only as a model, but as a figurehead in London society. Well, Helen's sister lived in Kelvedon, which is down the road from Doddinghurst. They had a house called Camera Lodge, which was named after the Camera Palace where she was born in Kapurthala. And whilst living there, that's when she caught TB, and she died and was buried at Doddinghurst churchyard at the All Saints Church. One of those hidden histories. You would never imagine an Indian or a Punjabi princess from a Sikh royal family being buried in the early Victorian age in a sleepy village in Essex. So it's really surprising, and it's intriguing.
I'm Simran Bance, and I was working on the exhibition today, curating the exhibition on Helen, Marian of Kapurthala, and we've been working to uncover more stories about her after what we've already known from local enthusiasts. And for this exhibition, we have shared her life story, her sister's life story, and the relationship between her parents, which was something that was a lot more controversial than we initially thought. The research first started locally, so what had already been found by people living in Essex and Doddinghurst who were curious about her grave in their parish church. And then I branched out to wider institutions like the British Library, the B&A, which is the British National Archives, and what came up were newspaper articles from India and also Essex and London, which gave me most of my information about where the sisters moved to, where they lived, who they interacted with, and their relationship with people they lived with here in Essex. Most of the images that we've come across are from the archives in Kapurthala, so thankfully an album that was passed to Peter Bance from Maharajah Kapurthala, which had some original photographs. Some of them are from Edward Long's paintings, so they're in the public domain, and some images actually don't have provenance, so I couldn't unfortunately be included in the exhibition, but have been mentioned as part. For me, the most interesting find was that she had another job alongside being a scandalous model. So her modelling career was well known anyway for Edward Long's paintings, but in fact she was very into palmistry and astrology, and every Saturday or Sunday she would go with her assistant and she would dress up as a fortune teller and go to fancy fairs reading the fortunes of guests, and she used her exotic appearance as her South Indian and her South Indian heritage to attract customers, and there were plenty of newspapers describing how she was very successful and very popular at these fairs, so reading about that was something I was not expecting. I've always loved researching. It's something that I've become skilled in through my dissertation as an undergrad and now as a postgrad as well. Research is something that I've got a good eye for, and so giving this opportunity I was able to expand that interest I had, and I'm always learning along the way, so although this is a small scale exhibition, it set me up hopefully for future exhibitions which will be a lot more daring.
Hello, my name's Caroline Seville and lived in Doddinghurst for 35 years and became very much involved in the church here, All Saints Church. Always been interested in this particular grave of Princess Helen Marion Ahluwalia and determined to find the story. Once more information was available on the internet, I discovered a lot. I discovered that Princess Helen's mother married the Rajah of Kapurthala in 1869, and they had 3 children, but the younger one, which was Princess Helen, she didn't marry. She became, interestingly enough, an artist model, and she was kind of launched into society in London, where she was a great hit. Her mother, the ex-Rani, is also buried here. She died not many years later. So we have 2 very interesting characters buried here in the churchyard, which is wonderful for the church to have this story.